So the question on everyone's mind is, why is this ordinary pizza man also a paramedic? With a midterm, a paper, and all that homework, many students are wondering, how am I going to do all this? And many are turning to Adderall. Adderall is a drug designed to counteract the effects of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. Whether you have a prescription or not, Adderall is easily found on college campuses. News Team's reporter, Stacey Sams, reports on why students are taking Adderall in ever-increasing numbers. Stacey? The 2H ordinance is about the corporate personhood. If the ordinance is approved, then the U.S. Constitution will be amended to say only human beings, not corporations, are entitled to constitutional rights. Coming up after the break, we'll be taking a look at a drug abuse problem that's increasingly common amongst students, especially during exam time. And technical problems at CU's Desire to Learn website are still taking away the desire to learn. Coming up next. Everyday CU students aren't the only ones excited about the new ski season. CU is also home to a variety of ski and snowboard clubs and teams excited to hit the slopes. Good evening, I'm Brittany Moore. Armstrong and Governor Ritter announced this morning that pro cycling will be returning to Colorado. The last pro race in the state was 20 years ago, and as CBS 4's Dominic Garcia reports, many cyclists are excited to see it return. Not only is this bag awesome, feasible, and cute, but it's also helping some amazing ladies get back on their feet. Prosecutors will pursue the death penalty for Aurora shooting suspect James Holmes. After contacting victims and their families, Arapahoe County District Attorney George Brashler rejected Holmes' plea offer of life in prison with no parole. The death penalty in Colorado is uncommon. The state currently has just 3 people on death row. There is little doubt Holmes was the gunman, so the likely defense is insanity. An insanity plea has not been submitted at this time. The trial could start any time from August to February 2014, and the trial could last at least 5 months. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our national weather map. Don't let the high temperatures in the Big Apple fool you. There's a low front coming up north that's going to cause some flash flooding possibilities as well as some pretty intense rain and thunderstorms. But that's nothing compared to south of there, where we're going to have temperatures in the 30s and some possible snow in some areas. George and Cammie Lynn were at the dinner table waiting for their pizza when George collapsed from a heart attack. The pizza man, Chris Wibben, who showed up just moments later, was also a lifesaver.
It was just like, help me. And he just looked at me and he said, I'm a paramedic.
So the question on everyone's mind is, why is this ordinary pizza man also a paramedic? Wibben was a combat medic in Iraq, worked in an Illinois fire department, and is hoping to do the same in Colorado.
He ran in here and I said, help him please, and I'm talking to 911 and he's doing chest compressions because my husband had, in fact, his heart had stopped, 40 years old, and he's pumping, and then he got him to gurgle a little bit.
The Lynn family will be forever indebted to Chris.
I hope he gets everything, you know, I hope he gets everything he wants out of being a paramedic, because that guy is just 100%. We've got to raise these boys, and yeah, thank you.
Wibben has become royalty at Johnny's New York Pizza after only 2.5 weeks on the job.
He's our golden boy these days, for sure, but an absolute hero for this family more than anybody, but we all have the utmost respect for the guy.
George Lynn has a chronic condition called atrial fibrillation and was experiencing heart pains several days before his heart attack. He is still unconscious in the hospital, but is stable and is improving. Being active just got easier. Weight Watchers' new book, Eat, Move, Play, is a family guide to being healthy and active. Weight Watchers' Linda Reese says a major goal for the book is to combat child obesity and promote healthy children through good parent role models.
We imitate our parents. Role modeling is an important premise in Weight Watchers. By learning how to eat and be more active, we not only benefit ourselves, but there's a ripple effect with the people in our lives.
Mom Christy Sheen is one supporter of Eat, Move, Play. Today, the Sheen family of 6 are busy cooking a healthy meal of soba noodles and chicken from the new book.
Some good tips and ideas for helping promote that in your kids, especially if you have kids maybe that are resistant to some of those ideas.
The book includes tips on nutrition, physical activity, household activities, and parenting. In order to increase kids' excitement for any of the book's healthy tips, parents should merely encourage children to become involved in the activity.
A lot of it is just creative, and I think when you start getting engaged in the process, then you're more willing to taste the outcome.
Eat, Move, Play summarizes its tips into 5 simple rules to be used in households. These rules include focus on wholesome, nutritious foods, include treats, limit screen time to 2 hours or less per day, excluding homework. Try to be active 1 hour or more per day. And the last and debatably the most important rule, according to Reese, is that the rules apply to everyone in the home. Reese stresses that the tips seen in the book should be used by all ages, not just children. The whole idea is that we are all modeling healthy behavior.
Twist the noodles like that.
You're watching CBS 4 News in high definition.
Hundreds of bicycle riders joined professional biker Lance Armstrong for a ride through town today. Good evening, I'm Brittany Moore. Armstrong and Governor Ritter announced this morning that pro cycling will be returning to Colorado. The last pro race in the state was 20 years ago, and as CBS 4's Dominic Garcia reports, many cyclists are excited to see it return. The Quiznos Pro Challenge will launch in August 2011. The race has not been mapped out yet, but it will include a mix of mountain, sprint, and downtown stages. From biking to the environment, the governor hosted an energy efficiency financing summit today. Earlier this year, the U.S. Department of Energy awarded Colorado $25 million for energy-efficient upgrades. Economic hard times have finally reached Laramie County in Wyoming. The county had seen no decline in property taxes until this year. The assessor took in $63 million, which is just a decline of 1%. But she says that's the first drop in her 22 years in office. She expects revenue to rebound next year. Primary elections are next week in Colorado, and that means some political heavy hitters are weighing in on the races. President Obama is backing Democrat Michael Bennet and Senator John McCain supporting Republican Jane Norton. Denver residents got a taste of farming today. Coming up, we'll show you how getting down and dirty at an urban garden is paying off for one neighborhood. It was exotic food that made nearly a dozen people sick. Next, we'll show you why this popular Colorado restaurant is under investigation. And could the worst oil spill in history be over? A little later, we'll check in on the fix that's supposed to save the Gulf.